Doodly doo 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 doo. Ba ba da da dum doo doo. Oh shit! Come on, work. Is that better? Let's see. And yes, we got it. All right, here we go. Ready to go. Hey, Big Green. And Brandon's in and Fringe Flicks. Yeah, it sucks, Big Green. I used to like singing at the beginning of streams as everybody was coming in, but my voice has been so wrecked lately just from all the vids I make. I can't. Hey, Jack and Cthulhu Alpha. Hello, buddy Marge. Sal Volcano's Frozen Goldfish. That's a good one. Wolverine and Jill. Yeah, I just wanted to stream today and didn't have anything specific to bring up, so I thought it'd just be fun to just kind of have a hangout and chat stream. Yes, I am on live chat. Okay. Hey, Jetfire and Jason. So you guys lead the way. What do you guys want to talk about? We got the nominations going over at the Goosh. It's boy there's there's over 200 I think already. I just posted it a little while ago. For those of you who are Gooshers, I wonder what do you think it's going to be this time? I don't have any real big front runners like we usually do. Oh, I got to post a list of the stuff coming up on series that we got to continue too. Austin is in HD. Excuse me, Spaz, Devin, Solaris, and Brandon and Mortem. Jill says, okay, finally got my Class 5 non-GDL license this spring. Can't wait to drive a golf cart from my work. I'm not sure what that stands for, Jill. Class 5 non-GDL? I'm not sure what that means. No chat bar is present on the stream? I'm not sure what you mean, Wolverine. No chat bar is present on the stream? Doodly-doo-doo-doo. I got mine right here and everything I'm looking at. Oh, never mind, he says. Okay. Solara says, my dad finished Attack on Titan recently. I've never seen a man so personally offended by an ending. How are you, Kurtz? I'm doing good. I got to watch that yet. I still got to see the end of that. It's. I was just making up my list of, over at the Goose, at our $1 level, that's where we catch up on things that we've watched but have new content out. And, of course, that's on there. I can't wait to get caught up on that, or finish that, I should say. Austin says, favorite casino machines? When we go, just, I don't have specific favorites. In the casino, it's either blackjack or I'll go play the slots here and there, but none specifically that are favorites. Whatever looks flashy and catches my eye, I'm very, very easily distracted by shiny objects. Jetfire says, I'm planning on watching the Super Mario movie. Yeah, me too. We were talking about that yesterday, how when it was first announced, I was like, on it. And now having seen the trailers and everything, I need to see it. I'm trying to get my wife to go with me. Brandon says, would you rather have Stewie's head or Joe's chin? Eesh, of the two, Joe's chin. Listen, my life's been rough enough from having this quadruple X large freakazoid of a head as it is. I don't need it to be football shaped as well. Excuse me. Divion says, bro, did you see the Violet Evergarden movies after the series? You kind of leave Violet Evergarden. Actually, my wife watched Violet Evergarden with me. It was one of the only animes she's ever watched. So we're just looking for a time. I've been talking about it for some time, that we have an hour and a half together to just sit around and watch the movie together. Lois is poor vagina. Yeah, no doubt, Jack. That fucking head coming out of there. It's got to. Yeah, That shit ain't normal, as they say in the South. That shit ain't normal, as they say in the South. Solara says you caught up on JoJo's. Well, JoJo's it won't matter anyway because we can't post them at the Goosh. Jill says it's my Class 5 driver's license allows me to drive most cars, bus or vans by myself, and my work offers to have golf carts. Oh, gotcha. Okay, most cars, bus or van by myself. Ah, I see. Okay, I didn't know that the classes broke it down that finely. Well, I've got of course I drove for a living for decades, so I still have my CDL. Deanna says so you haven't posted the movies on the Goosh. I don't post reactions to movies, so it doesn't matter which movie it is. No, it hasn't been posted there. This is my first time seeing this. Says, have you heard of the Land of Bogs? No. I don't even know. I don't even know what it is. Is it anime? TV show? I don't know. Never heard of it. HD says, do you think humanity will find a new planet to live on and to ruin? Oh, there you go. Also, where do you think that will be? Mars or somewhere else? Well, obviously Mars would have to be the top contender just because there's serious effort and money being put into colonizing Mars as we speak. So if it's going to happen, you would assume Mars would be the as I said, the leading contender. Oh, cartoon shorts? Oh, no, I haven't seen those. Jack Queen says, do you think they said touchdown when Stewie was born? Well, saying touchdown is fine, just as long as the doctor didn't get, too overexcited and spike the ball. Would explain a lot, though. Would explain a lot with me if it happened. Jill says, oh, Mario movie. I wish that's the one I booked with, but I already got one for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with my friends. They're also a fan of Marvel. I've got to catch up on the Guardians of the Galaxy movies because I love them in the whole Avengers series and everything. Chrome says, by the way, good news. Looks like Pokemon is doing well in the nominations. Is it, Chrome? I just scrolled through real quick. I didn't really I didn't pay attention to who was leading numbers-wise. Oh, very good. Very good. That'll be interesting. Samurai Guy says, yo, man, new fan here. Been watching your whole old live reactions. They're fun. Please keep up the good work. Sorry if I sound like I'm timed. I'm not sure what you mean. I think it just auto-corrected on you. No, I'm glad to have you here with us. They're fun. As I said in this video I just posted, it's kind of funny. I never would have gotten into anime if it weren't for you guys. And now, as you can see, it's like a major part of my life. And I never would have even thought to try watching the VTubers if it weren't for you guys. You guys started me here in the streams. Then Gimster really kept the ball rolling by sponsoring the compilations he did over at the Goosh, and they're funny. I mean, they're just hilarious. I always would have thought it was just a cute little goofy internet gimmick, but the girls, and I'm assuming guys, I haven't seen any of the guys that do it yet, but the girls are funny. They're sharp-witted, quick on their feet. The stuff I just really enjoy them. I thought that before too, Big Green. He says, surely Arnold from Hey Arnold and Stewie from Family Guy must be related in some way. They're both football heads. And Arnold, of course, always had it pointed out to him, though, in no uncertain terms. He was, well, because What's-Her-Face called him football head all the time. Mortem says, I'd love to, I like streams like this. I'd love to go to an Earth-like planet to see if there are humanish people there, and humanish ladies, too. Don't judge me. It's just something different. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Evgeny. No JoJo on Goosh anymore. Copyright problems finally got there too. Yes, they did. It's only been 3 series, and hopefully that's going to be the end of it. Because if it goes much further than that, I'll have to see what I can do if I can scrape the funds together to fight it legally. But so far, it's only been Bleach, JoJo, and Death Note. Jill says, have you heard about Warner Brothers to reboot Harry Potter as a series on HBO over 7 seasons? No. With each season covering a different book? No. Because I've been saying, well, you guys know, I've been saying for years on here even, I'm gonna go watch those Harry Potter movies. I'm gonna see them. Because I do want to, and I never get around to doing it. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys. Speaking of the VTubers, I have a VTube model being made for me. I give no guarantees as to what the quality will be, but it is being worked on. And I showed you this before. It's based on this picture. I'll pop it up again. Yeah, there it is. It's based on this picture. Now I have an artist who does exactly these things, creates the VTube characters, working on it. We'll see. Didn't mean to do that. We'll see if it goes well or not. But well, there you go. Jackie says it better be shirtless or I'm going to throw a serious tantrum. As a matter of fact, I told him in the instructions. I said, don't put a shirt on it or something. I said that's the gimmick of this character. So fits well with the yellow eyes. Yeah, I just really like that. Alpha was making those up over at our Discord, and I really like those. Big Green says you don't have pupils in that image, so it might not even need eye tracking. He'll probably insert them, I would imagine, Big Green, just because he, like I say, he does that. Picture looks like you just saw Kabuto driving the train. Oh, did you, Jack? He says, "Ha, that's cool. I gave Alpha that idea originally. Feeling special. It will end soon." I like those. They were really well done. So again, you know, the other work the guy has done looked good. I looked at his portfolio and everything, but I always have my doubts on something like that. We'll see. Hey, maybe he'll surprise me. But I've got him set to design it, rig it, everything. He said it'll take, 2-3 weeks, which is understandable. But once we do, I can't. Unfortunately, you guys saw that Larry the Demon. For those of you who saw that, I thought that would be a fun thing to do. The guy the gamer who was sent to hell, and now he's sentenced to play shitty games for eternity. I can't do it. I can't do it with that voice. It's funny how I just spend so many hours a day talking. My voice is so limited. I got done with that yesterday. My throat was killing me. I could barely speak at night because I was, using a different voice with a little bit of gravel in it, and can't do it no more. Billy Donut says, "Can I get a double bacon cheeseburger and a side of onion rings, please?" Absolutely not. You can get a double bacon burger, but I do not allow the presence of American cheese anywhere around here. So you can get a double bacon cheeseburger and side of onion rings. Hold the cheese, but that's the best I can do. Fringe Flick says, "Curtis, what are your thoughts on the woolly mammoth meatball? Sounds delicious. What the hell is it?" Sarah says, "Teacher, I don't think this is the best place for a nap. Kid, oh, it's okay. You just have to be a bit quiet." Willie says, "Please help me. I'm surrounded by my super SJW classmates who are yelling at me for being ableist because I made a joke about me having a stroke." Oh, brother. Well, but you guys know me. You know what my reaction would be? I would just be taunting them and laughing at them, giving them the finger. Because I don't give a shit if somebody's feelings are hurt. Do they shave the mammoth? I don't know, Jack. These are the things we gotta find out. Anthony says, "You remember Bushwhacker Butch? Yeah, that he passed away. Yeah, I knew he'd been in failing health for some time, but that was a surprise because I know he had come to L.A. To try and be part of the festivities and then couldn't make it, and that's sad. That's sad. They were good guys. I never got to meet them myself, and I was supposed to. I don't even remember what happened. Something in the family, because it was rare for me to ever miss a wrestling show. But when they were on, I was supposed to work. I think that was the Bushwhackers. Yeah, it was. I wasn't able to make. Thomas says, "So do you hate all cheese, or can you eat like Swiss or provolone?" I'm not a cheese fan, period, other than on pizza. Why? I couldn't tell you. But yes, I can. There are other cheeses I can put down, and there are other cheeses that if they're on a sandwich, I would eat it. And more the case, like if, if you gave me a burger with Swiss cheese, say, I would take the Swiss cheese off. But if there, when you try and do that, trust me, because I've had to do it, there are remnants left and it kind of soaks into the burger. That'd be all right. It wouldn't add anything to the burger for me because I don't really like it, but I would eat it. If you put American cheese on it, that fucking burger is going in the garbage. I would either find somebody else who will eat that nasty ass shit or throw it away because I'm not doing it. Jack says Neil deGrasse Tyson gets on my nerves. Mine too. He once said he didn't agree with all the effort being put into Mars and would rather go towards saving this planet. Eggs in one basket springs to mind. Yeah, when when Neil started trying to become like not only a political advocate, but I don't know the best way to put it, but when Neil started seeing himself as a role model of sorts other than just a science nerd, he started getting real annoying. And he is living proof that you can be an absolute genius in one field and just kind of a blithering dolt in another. HD says, I think if aliens exist, they're laughing at us for being dumb enough to destroy our own planet. That's very, very possibly true. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but when you think about, I've said it over and over, when you think about how technology begets more technology. I mean, the more technologically advanced we get, the more rapidly we can become even more technologically advanced. It really frightens you for what could be the kind of immediate future in ways to off ourselves. Excuse me. Big Green says, yeah, I don't like cheese either, but a lot of foods that have cheese on or in them I'd still eat right. American cheese is plastic though. Oh, I'd rather eat plastic myself, Big Green. That's just the worst. Well, I had to come up with a hierarchy because it was always tough, which is worse, big with which is worse, American cheese or mayonnaise. And as bad as American cheese is, I gotta say mayonnaise is a little bit worse. Odin says, legend says that Neil deGrasse Tyson is still interrupting Joe Rogan to this day. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion. And I don't hate the guy or anything. Just my opinion on Neil deGrasse Tyson is he should just stay in his lane because I don't think he brings anything of real value to conversations outside of his area of expertise. Anthony says, I would not have gotten into basketball if it wasn't for Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. That's fair. Kobe was amazing. Amazing ball player. For me, it was Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson. That's how old I am. Back when they were both playing for the Bucks. And Lou Alcindor was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's previous name. That was his name at the time I started following him. Oh, Mayo was so nasty. So nasty. Big Green says he wouldn't be fun at parties, that's for sure. Yeah, seems like he'd be annoying as shit at parties. We're talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson. Because, again, he is a genius in his field. But it just appears to me that he thinks that means he's a genius in every field and in every conversation. And he ain't. Anthony says, yeah, good old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. Yeah, that's why I'm a Bucks fan. Because they were my favorites as a kid, and we got the best record in basketball this year too. See how the playoffs go. J Money says, so what is your opinion on today with Trump without getting too political and ruining the mood? Yeah, we won't go too deep into it. You guys know my opinion on Trump. I voted for him, but I don't like him. I mean, I voted for him because I thought he was a superior option based on platitudes, but I don't like him. I will say this. I'm not sure that this will work out well for those of us who don't want Trump to be the nominee. Because I'm afraid if this case is not airtight, and I'm afraid it is not, because this DA, I think, felt he needed to do this. If it isn't, and Trump walks, I think this is going to help him so much it might allow him to beat DeSantis in the primaries. Because DeSantis has recently in the polls been making a move. So we'll see. This could really backfire. Chrome says, no, he's not a genius. He's an arrogant, mediocre dude. He failed his uni exam multiple times and blamed racism. He's always been the same. Right, and I saw that in his history. But with my limited knowledge of all things space, and trust me, I readily admit my knowledge is extremely limited, he's interesting to listen to on those topics. I always thought so. I like listening to him on them. But again, as soon as he starts branching out, he's all over the place. And he just has that arrogant, condescending attitude. And again, being an astrophysicist does not in any way, shape, or form lend itself to you being an authority on anything other than astrophysics. Hustle T King says, big fans. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Chrome says, by the way, both Pokemon the full series as well as Season 1 by itself is doing well. Also, DBZ and Mochi are pretty high. Oh, really? DBZ is too? Very cool. Cool. Jet Flyer says, can I get a triple patty bacon burger with cheddar cheese? We could let that slide. Sure, we could go with that. Like I say, as long as it's not American cheese, because that shit is not coming into our hallways here. Oh, Demi, cool. My friend and I are at the park watching you while we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Eating pulled pork sandwiches. Life is good. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a cool afternoon. Very cool. Yeah, it's gorgeous here today. I don't know about where you guys are individually, but here it's a beautiful day. After the stream, I'm gonna go down I think I told you guys yesterday, my wife's brother is here with us for a few days, and gonna go down. I don't know what we're gonna do. I told him later we would go for. I told you guys we have a place that has the best freaking snow cones you'll ever have. Penguin snowballs. Penguin balls are awesome. I did not realize this till I moved to North Carolina, but later on we want to go do that. Cthulhu says he's a jack of all trades, just not a master in any fields he thinks he is. Yeah, and again, he thinks highly of himself no matter what the topic. Oh, you live near Schenectady, Anthony? That's very cool. That's where I grew up. That's where my grandmother lived forever. I still have a lot of family that lives there. My grandpa was a fireman in Schenectady for 30 some odd years. My uncle, a couple of my uncles were firemen there. Yep. My cousin, who I grew up with. Wolverine says, I just ate an entire package of American with mayo. Oh, I can't even imagine. Oh my God, those things are so... I mean, that actually, even just thinking about things like that, actually makes me feel a little bit ill. Penguin balls are awesome, Big Green. I definitely own that quote. NDT strikes me as someone who has brains, not genius, and has worked hard. That's probably fair. That's to be respected. Just don't preach Carl Sagan's blue dot philosophy while being condescending, missing the point. Yeah, and like I say, when he crosses over, not just into politics, but I guess in general life issues and life advice, I think it's kind of a dope myself. What about Jetflyer says, what about Bill Nye? Your take on him? For as popular as Bill Nye has been for all these years, I really don't know much about him to have a solid opinion. I never watched the Bill Nye the Science Guy show, and nothing against him. It was just nothing I ever gravitated towards. So I really, I really can't say an awful lot because I don't know much about him at all. Cthulhu says mayo is the dollar store goose juice. Goose juice. You just wanted me to say goose juice. Just wrong. I agree. Oh, High School DxD, Thomas, is excellent. And that's the thing with DxD. It's known for its ecchi content, and it's known for the great titties, and they're phenomenal. and all the boobalicious humor is amazing. But I just really like that show. I think the character interactions are fun and hilarious, and I like the plot of it. It's lighthearted and silly, but it's a lot of fun. That's one of my all-time favorite anime. Nacho says Neil only debates people he views as beneath him. You never see him debate a peer. That seems to be true too. And in fairness, though, Nacho, I think he views all of us as beneath him, so gives him a lot to choose from. I watch it for the plot. Big Green says, "Yeah, one of those rare cases where I actually do." Now, even, the plot somewhat, but the character interactions even more. I love the character interactions in there. And I mean, come on. As far as what that is funny when this poor kind of loser dude gets this date with this insanely fucking hot chick. I mean, just crazy hot, and she kills him. That's good shit to start off a series. Chrome says Pokemon's full series and season 1 by itself are both 14 likes. I put Pokemon up twice to hedge my bets, one for the entire series, one for season 1 by itself. DBZ is like 15 likes. Oh, interesting. Very cool. Anthony says I need to see Scream 6 eventually, Curtis, in the last 2 Halloweens. I'm so far behind on all those because my wife won't watch any of those horror movies. And to be honest with you, the slasher movies are not a big thing to me anyway. They lost me years ago. They got too off the wall. As I said, for horror movies, if you're going to slashers, I have to admit that Chucky and Child's Play always freaked me out. I like those. I thought that was a good angle. And Freddy was cool because I like that concept of, he only comes to get you in your dreams. Because that opens up, well, it's in your dreams, opens up absolutely everything. DXD characters are all secretly unhinged. Yeah, pretty much, Billy Donuts. But again, the relationships, I think, are just a blast in there. They're so much fun. And the fights look good. The impetus for the fights a lot of times is silly, but it's fun silly. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is I think DXD appeals to me plot-wise because DXD is very aware that its plot is silly, and it never tries to take itself all that seriously. Chrome says, thoughts on him is he's an eloquent speaker, but has the political and philosophical depth of a glass of water. Also, he's kind of awful. I remember when he tried to take comfort from grieving parents. Yeah, I think that pretty much is a perfect reflection of my take on him, Chrome. That's well said. Jack says, now Oppenheimer talking I would listen to all day. That dude was a genius. Its application of quantum mechanics in everyday life is actual genius. We'll ignore the Manhattan Project for now. We don't have to get into the whole splitting atoms things and all that. I love Dragon Ball Super going nowhere. I really enjoyed it. I loved everything Dragon Ball though. I haven't watched GT in its entirety, but back when I was watching a lot of clips from Z, we had a section where I watched a lot of clips from GT. I even enjoyed that. Everything about Dragon Ball, that's just another series that's just so well done. Such iconic characters. Oh no. Chrome says, also be afraid Boruto has 9 votes. The only good thing I can say there, Chrome, is there's too many things like the ones you just mentioned. There are too many superior shows that I can't see it winning the poll. And even in those times where I'll take more than one of the top vote getters, it wouldn't be Boruto because it's too long. I'm not going to take a top vote getter or two and Boruto with all that length. So it would have to win, and I don't think it will. Odin says, have you heard of the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie that is getting made now? I did hear about it, yes. I never played much of the games, but some of the things that were revealed about the movie seem pretty cool. It's fun. You should, if you get a chance, Odin, you should play it. It's fun. I like Five Nights at Freddy. And I played through several of them, and they were all good. They were a lot of fun. It's an excellent game to keep you tense, keep you on edge. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Billy says I finally got to Wano in One Piece. Oh, One Piece, such an amazing. Oh, we got it. There should be a new One Piece out, right, guys? I haven't looked. I mean, for us over at the Goose. Yeah, so I'll have to fit that in. Take a day off of a Gintama episode and get that fit in. Kaiser says Getter Robo is going to be getting a live action movie by Big One Studio for its 50th anniversary. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Those Kaiser, those um kits we were looking at the Anime Fest the other day, those are pretty impressive. I didn't even think I should have done that. I wonder what they go for. I didn't even think to look at the prices. Anthony says, bummer and disappointed that Cody Rhodes didn't win. A lot of people are. That one, that didn't affect me too much, but... And I always preface this by saying I think Cody Rhodes is an excellent wrestler, a great worker. He just never really clicked with me all that much. And for no other reason, just in, personal preference. So it wasn't as disappointing to me. But I can get that. If you're a fan of his at all, it certainly seemed like they were leading towards giving him the belt. A lot of people are saying that they think, despite what everybody is saying, they're thinking that Vince is having input in creative again, because this seems like his dalliances. Well, we'll see. Saving Roman's fall for The Rock, I wonder. I don't think The Rock, Jack. It could even be Cody. Some are theorizing that they just want to get his reign. Ha! Because he's Roman Reigns. That's so funny. They want to get his reign past 1,000 days. That could be too. That's a cool type of gimmick to have. It was confusing though. Now they went immediately to where now Cody is going to be involved with a whole program, it looks like, against Lesnar with what happened last night. So that makes me think maybe it isn't Cody right now that they're going to put the strap on. Chrome says you're going to struggle through the nomination thread, by the way. A lot of series that are already planned for the $1 tier. Those just won't get out. And when I make the poll, I'll explain that to them, Chrome. But those just aren't going to go up there. There's no sense in it. I've been working on it lately. I can tell you right now. At that $1 tier, we've got coming up catch up on Mob Psycho, My Hero, Kaguya-sama, Attack on Titan, Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and Vinland Saga. So, yes, I see people were putting them in there, but they just won't go into the poll. Cthulhu says, honestly, my favorite wrestler to this day is still Andre the Giant. He was really a gentle giant. He was an amazing guy. I never got to meet him or anything, but I did get to see him wrestle live, and holy crap. What a freaking monster. Yeah. Sir says, you called it, Curtis. UConn won. They are now 5 for 5 in the finals. The way they were playing down the stretch, oof. Because they started out the season really hot. And then they had that middle part. It was like, uh-oh, wheels are coming off. And then down the stretch, they got back to the way they were playing early. Well, I don't think any game in the tournament. I think they did win every game in the tournament by at least 10, right? It was impressive. Big Green says, would I be able to build a model kit though? How good am I at building? No, I don't have the patience. I've told you guys that before. It's like I had late onset ADD. I cannot sit down and focus on things that require a lot of fine work and a lot of time and detail. I need things to keep moving, or I can't do it. That's, as I told you guys, that's why I stopped playing chess. When I was a kid, I used to play it. I was pretty good at it. But now I play, and I had to stop because I want to punch people. Because chess is, a thoughtful game and this, that, and the other. And I'll make my move. And then I sit back and somebody's sitting there and they're going. And it's like, move a goddamn piece or I'm gonna fucking headbutt you. As bad as it was even my father, because I taught my father when I was a kid. I taught him how to play, and so he would play with me fairly regularly. And as I got older, I couldn't do it anymore. And we would sit. I can remember we'd sit there and we'd be playing, and he'd sit there and he's looking and he's figuring this and figuring that, and I'm thinking about all the other things I could be doing and getting accomplished, and I would just take and tip my king over and say, "Here you go, Dad. Good game. That's it. I'm out." Mistress says Lakers won 10 out of the last 14 games. It's looking good right now, especially since AD is back to his bubble self. Yeah, I'm not a Lakers fan, and you're right. They're playing really good ball right now, and that annoys the shit out of me. I'm hoping somebody bounces them right out. Never liked the Lakers. Big Green says, I'm too stupid for chess. Not at all, Big Green. That's overhyped. That you have to, I understand a lot of smart people do play chess, but you don't have to be all that smart to play chess and be good at it. I mean, it's just strategy and being able to think a couple steps ahead comes naturally to some people. Because it's, it goes back to what we're talking about with Neil deGrasse Tyson. A lot of times people try to lump together intelligence as this all-encompassing thing in the respect that if somebody's really good at one thing and very knowledgeable, it's like, oh, it's a very intelligent person. Let's ask them about this totally unrelated topic. That's not how it works. To me, the most intelligent people are the ones who can take situations that they haven't seen before, any situation, and be presented with a set of circumstances and make quality decisions on the fly based on those circumstances. It's not how much you necessarily can learn and remember. Now, if you're talking about getting surgery done, yes, you want a doctor who can learn and remember. But in general, I think that's the more accurate description of intelligence. Zuchen says, then chess boxing is the game for you. Yeah, I just don't have the patience anymore. I heard something about that, Jill. She says there was a YouTuber was making a prank video in a mall. Can't remember where. He said the prankee took it badly and shot him. I wanted to look up more details on that, and I forgot about it, to be honest with you, until you just said that. And I was going to look up more about that, see what the hell that was about. Chrome says, by the way, it's April 5th in Japan now. Toriyama's 68th birthday today, is it? Wow, 68? Wow, cool. Jack says, psychologically speaking, intelligence has multiple factors not decided by psychometric tests. Adaptability is a huge one. I would agree. Excuse me, sorry. I always thought so because I always just thought, just my way of thinking, the test of true intelligence is, again, when you're in a situation that you haven't been prepared for or that you don't have advanced knowledge of. Do you have the thought processes available to you to figure out what to do in this given situation? Surf says it's not about being smart. It all comes down to who can memorize the most. So I agree with you. And I was living proof of it. And I'll tell you why. When I was in school, I could get good marks anytime I wanted to. I don't have them. I'd show them to you. Until I got in high school, and in high school, I was just like, fuck it, I don't care. But from elementary school, middle school, and early high school, I could get good marks, and I didn't learn shit. Only because, again, everybody's mind is geared differently. I'm good at taking tests. In the respect that if you give me a bunch of paragraphs of text and tell me to read it, there's going to be a test on it, I can read it and then do well on the test, but I didn't learn it. The reason being because I can, it's my own stupid little mind, so I understand how my process works. I can take what I read and draw the conclusion you want me to draw on that test. It doesn't mean I learned anything other than that this word plus this word equals that word, if that makes sense to you. But I used to get great marks on tests, and I was a dummy. Because I wasn't interested. Didn't want to learn it. Just wanted to get a good mark and get out of there, or get a mark and get out of there. And my stepdaughter, my oldest stepdaughter, was just the opposite. I used to feel so bad for her because she would work hard. She knew the information, but she's one of these people that got very nervous at tests. And so she would choke a lot on the tests. And she wouldn't get a good mark, but she knew the stuff. So testing is not an accurate measurement. Chrome says, was it this story? There's been a few. There was another where a prank channel pulled a knife in an airport because the victim wouldn't let them steal. Oh, shit. Let me look, Chrome. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. I just heard about it. This might be it. It finally happened. A YouTube prankster get shot during a fake robbery prank gone wrong. It's just prank, bro. It's just prank. Oh, this might be it. Hold on a second, guys. Let me take a look at this because I wanted to look this up.
To prank rob him for a YouTube video. Starnes says he didn't know it was his friends at the time. He just saw a group of people coming at him with butcher knives.
Stop! 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 Stop the prank! Stop! Stop! Stop!
That's a really bad idea. Like, who would
Jesus
do that?
What started out as a prank in the parking lot of Urban Air Trampoline Park in Hermitage turned out to be not so funny. Metro Police say on Friday night, 2 guys staged a fake robbery here to make a YouTube video, but not everyone was in on the joke. According to a Metro press release, 20-year-old Timothy Wilkes approached a group of people in the parking lot with butcher knives, including 23-year-old David Starnes Jr. 5 evidence markers on the ground, but Metro Police did not tell us how many shell casings they collected.
Jesus Christ. You're an idiot. You're going to come at anybody with a butcher knife? Come on. Jesus Christ. It was the sound of real fear. Oh, they've been way out of hand, Zuchen. I agree. That's fucking stupid. I watch that stuff too. And I've said this, and my wife knows. You guys know, when I was younger, I used to be in some tense situations and lived in some places where things can go wrong in a hurry. So I'm one of these people that if you decide to sneak up on me and you make contact with me, you're going to come up, whoa, boo, and grab my shoulder. I'm probably going to punch you because it's just how I instinctively react. Even when my wife and I will go out for walks or anything like that, that's one of our favorite things here, is just to go out for our afternoon walks and stuff. I am very, very, very conscious of everything that's around me. It's not ever going to go away. And so I see some of these pranks, and it's like, who would be at fault? I can tell you one specifically. One of these little douchebags was bugging people in, it was like a big Lowe's or Home Depot, a home improvement place. And he was coming up to, he had a long piece of, I think it was PVC. And it actually wasn't that long a piece, it was a piece of PVC. And he was like poking people in the head with it, poking people in the ear with it, flicking their ear and stuff. If I don't know you, if that happened to me and I feel that and I turn around and I see a stranger there, I'm going to fucking body slam you. One guy I saw one of those videos actually did. But the thing was, this guy got down, was on top of him, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'd be just choking. I'm not going to ask you. I figure you're threatening me, right? So who's wrong there? So if I hurt that fucking guy, if I choke that kid out, am I wrong for doing that? Yeah, I don't like that. Again, I don't know who you are. It's just something that's always been with me since those days. I don't want you fucking around with me because I don't know what your intentions are. And I'm not going to wait to find out. I'm going to try and fuck you up and stop you from what you might be about to do. I would think so, McBreakfast Yum. When pranks involve physically touching someone, it's now assault. Yeah, because assault doesn't have to mean you hit somebody hard or you injured them. Because again, you're trying to startle someone. You're trying to make them think that something is amiss. Well, you got to expect to get your ass jacked. Chrome says, I'd call it self-defense. You don't know what he's capable of or why he's doing it. Right. That's why they always told us, no, I'd floor him instinctually. Exactly, Jack. Well, that was the thing with wrestling. And I think they understand it possibly more in WWE, but even in the indies, when you had security guys, just standing between the ring and the crowd, that was for the crowd more than the wrestlers, because the laws stated if somebody comes into that ring, if I'm working a match, somebody comes into that ring, there's no reason for them to be there. I have every right to assume that they have deadly intent. I don't need to see a weapon. All I have to do is see somebody coming into that area. And you're going to catch a hell of a beatdown. When you guys, a lot of you guys are wrestling fans, have seen the things that happen to people that jump into the ring. Because that's as old as pro wrestling itself. All the boys get together and beat the shit out of anybody who does that. All kayfabe goes out the window in that moment. And we make sure that the person is made an example of. Now, I've also seen some wrestlers acting out too. I've seen wrestlers who got in the face of fans and touched fans. You can't do that either. You lose that protection if you start that. And if you're just going to jaw with somebody, that's fine. But you don't get to reach across that barricade and start poking somebody in the chest. And some of these dipshits we have working shows now think they can do that. Mistress says, have you seen those pranks where they impersonate police officers in real life? Got to be illegal, if not most. Oh, yeah. I would think so. I know impersonating a police officer was illegal in New York. I would think so. Seth Rollins got jumped. I remember that one. Aiden, yep. I remember that. Excuse me. Kaiser says, depends on the grade and size. We're talking about the mecha models. Basic high grade kit can go at 1/144th, which are generally small, around $30. Oh, that's not bad. More expensive grades and sizes can be $50 to $680. I got Go. I can never say that. Go Gaigar for $100. That's not as bad as I thought they'd be, actually. Jet Flyer says, recently I accidentally ran into a video of Alex Jones. Ruined my day. I imagine your take on him is very similar. I'm not a fan of anybody whose total purpose for being on this planet is to try and inflame and incense others. So, yes, you are correct. Big Green says, that's what I'm saying. A lot of pranks now are borderline illegal. It's so dumb. It is. And it's surprising that nobody got shot before this or seriously hurt. Because, yeah, come running at people with masks on and butcher knives in hand. And then be surprised when somebody gets shot. Jesus Christ. Chrome says, by the way, fairly confident now Pokemon is making it on the poll. Twice. Also, DBZ, Bochi, and the Pedo series Runo, Iruma-kun, and Inuyasha as well, maybe. The other series are $1 tier. Cool. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, you can get a good idea because which is fun for me. Everybody enjoys putting in their selections. So even though I let that go for a couple days, well, you know, you guys have been with me at the Goose for ages. Even though I let the nominations stay up for a couple days, usually within a few hours you have a good idea of who the nominees are going to be. McBreakfast Yum says, have you heard about this guy who got stabbed and died in front of his 3-year-old daughter because he asked the guy to stop vaping next to her? Was that the one? Oh gosh, where was that? It wasn't in America, the one I saw. Where the hell was it? Because I didn't know why he got stabbed. That's why I'm not sure if it's that one. Is that the same one where that freaking idiot on social media was taking a camera shot of himself with the guy laying there bleeding to death in the background, and he's like mugging for the camera about it? If so, yes, unfortunately I did see that. Chrome says, Samurai Jack is tied for highest liked at 17. That's a classic series. Really? That's cool. Yeah. I just, because Samurai Jack's been mentioned so many times, I'm surprised that it's that high with the thumbs up. Oh, that's cool. I do like Jack Black. Yeah, Anthony, I think Jack Black is funny. Jill says, I just ordered online a makeup kit from Italy. It will not arrive for a few weeks. Then I saw the free shipping cost $7.95. I never knew this because I don't usually order online from other countries. Yeah, I know. Well, of course, with me being an anime nerd, I get a lot of stuff from Asia. Because even a lot of the anime stuff comes from China. It's manufactured there. Finley says, can't believe YouTube allows so much dangerous prank crap, but harmless videos get removed just because. Yeah. Therein lies one of the many serious issues with YouTube in general. It's just sad. Chrome says, yeah, the general shape of what gets nominated is figured out day one. Yeah, there is usually some wiggle room. That's why, unless, now like last time, we just had a really solid core of front runners. And so I didn't throw in any long shots because I could tell that there's no sense in throwing them in when they're not going to be a factor. But we'll see how these numbers flesh out this time. I love JoJo. McBreakfast Yum. JoJo's awesome. Phil says, all right, time to nominate Tokyo Tribe 2 or Zatch Bell. Anthony says, remember that School Rock scene with Jack Black saying, I have touched your kids and I'm pretty sure they touched me? Well, something like that. Anyway, I think I remember that scene. I saw that when it first came out. I haven't seen it again since. It was a funny movie, though. Kaiser says, the person doing the pranks, ow, my rib. Ow, my other rib. Tristan, why are you punching him? Yeah, that's just mind-numbingly stupid. Friend or not, why would you come at anybody in masks with butcher knives? How can you not think that somebody's or be confident somebody's not going to react violently? I don't know. Gulliver's Travels with Jack. Yeah, that was good, Joe. He was good in that. And Gulliver's Travels always had a special place for me. Weird story, but my grandmother on my father's side, we called her Nani. She passed when I was young, 6, 7, maybe. And for some reason, I remember one time the family went over to visit her at her apartment in Schenectady, New York. I still remember those apartments. And the animated Gulliver's Travels was on her TV. And I just became fascinated by it. And I don't know why. I don't know why it just struck a chord with little fat Curtis. But so it's always had kind of a special place for me, Gulliver's Travels, just because of that. Cthulhu says, where is Pain when you need him? We need a universal reset about now, unfortunately. Jack says, when you think that our species was only successful because of adaptability, it's weird it's not a bigger mark for intelligence. Also, less jaw muscles and cooked meats, fire, also were massive factors. True. Yeah, exactly. Big Green, just use a fucking whoopee cushion or something. Don't act like you're going to murder someone for a prank. Again, it's really surprising that it took this long for something like that to happen. Let me see if I can pronounce it right. Zia? Is that? Hey, I know you did wrestling, but how long and where? Also, have you ever done MMA? Oh, and there's got it. So, pronounce Zaya? This is my first stream. Glad I can be with you. Well, glad you're in here, Zaya. Yeah, we got this new thing now that YouTube gives us when it's your first super chat. Yes, wrestling. I wrestled for over 30 years. Not MMA in the classic sense. Back when I was young enough and into fighting all the time, we did tough man contests, but there wasn't any organized MMA. I did fight when I lived in California in the underground style fights. They weren't what you see on movies, at least here. They might have been over in Asian countries. But yeah, the rules were kind of lax. So I used to fight in those, but you didn't have, in America at the time, organized MMA. I would have loved to. But wrestling I got into back in the very early 80s, 80, 81, when I was in New Mexico. Went over to Texas, tried out for the big time there, and then just stayed in the Indies for the next 30 plus years. Loved every second of it. Anthony says, will you continue Cyanide and Happiness? Probably. I'm just really enjoying getting to see a little bit about these VTubers now just because it's been fun and everybody else seems to be having a good time with it too. But probably. Chrome says, these all have 12 or more so far in direct order. Samurai Jack, Bochi, Ruruni, DBZ, Pokemon Fire Force, South Park. South Park? Really? That's cool. Iruma, Inuyasha, Yu-Gi-Oh! To Your Eternity. Very cool. Tyler says, what cartoons did you watch as a child? All of them I could get my eyeballs on. I've been an animation fanatic since I was a little kid. I love cartoons. I love the comic strips in the paper. That was one of my favorite things. But my favorite when I was a kid, now, again, you have to remember, back in my day, the only time you really got to see cartoons was All Morning on Saturday. And then there were a couple like secondary ones that would show up here and there on Sundays. But Saturday was Cartoon Day. That was the only day you got to see them. But my favorites were the Looney Tunes. Now my wife, it was the Disney characters. And I watched both. But the Looney Tunes were my favorite. And then I liked them. I liked Pink Panther a lot. I told the gang Scooby-Doo was like, meh. I would watch it because I would watch all the cartoons. But it was okay. I really got into it when they would have the Globetrotters on because I was a Globetrotters nerd. But there's others, and they're escaping my memory right now. But yeah, Pink Panther was really cool. Hated Johnny Quest. Thought that was one of the dumbest things I ever saw. There's more. I'll think of them. Phil says, did you know there's a Goosh parody of Uran Opening 1? No. So you mean somebody made one on YouTube? Uran Opening 1? No, I didn't know that. Jimmy Quest, yeah, Chrome. Jack says, I love Scooby-Doo. Now I'm triggered because your opinion is mildly different from mine. Watch your ass. Only, hey, that's acceptable. I mean, no, it's not acceptable. It's required now. If opinions differ, we must kill one another. That's just how it works nowadays. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I didn't hate Scooby-Doo. It was like a step down for me from the Looney Tunes and some of the others. Why am I having so much trouble remembering some of the other shows of my era? But I was a big Pink Panther nerd. I'll never forget the simple things. The time he spoke, I freaked out. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm just sitting there, and eating my mixing bowl full of Frosted Flakes that I would eat. And it come to the end of the episode, and for those of you who don't know, Pink Panther never spoke. It was just da-doom, 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 da-doom. So they had done a whole, it was like a Noah's Ark type episode where he was collecting two of every animal, so on and so forth. And we get to the end, I'm sitting there eating, and all of a sudden, right before the episode ends, the Pink Panther turns to the camera and goes, why can't man be more like animals? And I was like, what the fuck? The Pink Panther, and I was freaked out. I'm telling my parents, the Pink Panther spoke, and everybody else is like, okay. They didn't understand because they were normies. I love watching Pink Panther. Shelby says, I got to go back and watch some of those Boomerang shows. Tom and Jerry, that was another one I enjoyed. Thank you, Big Green. I did like Tom and Jerry too. But you're right, just like Tom and Jerry speaking. Yeah, it freaked me the hell out. And, it's different because nowadays, you're always spoiled because we have the internet. Somebody's before you see it, you're going to somehow have found out that Pink Panther was going to speak. Not back then. That's just completely out of left field. I'm sitting there watching the episode and I almost shit myself. Jill says, did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie trailer? I didn't see the trailer. I know that it's out, the trailer. What's your opinion of D&D in general? I just know very little about it. Just what I've gleaned from Spaz Kid played it a lot in high school and in college. And he used to dungeon master at his college. He had a whole group playing along with him. So, I picked up little things here and there. And, of course, I used to be buying them D&D dice and stuff like that, but I don't have a lot of knowledge of it. The last Hollywood movie I watched, Ambivert, was it last week? Last week, my wife and I went to see Puss in Boots would be the last one we saw. Yogi Bear was okay, Shelby. Yogi Bear was similar to Scooby. It wasn't one of my favorites. I watched it because I watched all of them. But it was okay. Flintstones was pretty good. Flintstones was the first cartoon they put in primetime. And I liked Flintstones. Oh, okay. Chrome says he means this Goose parody. Let me take a look.
Goose, goose, fall in love.
Goose, goose, goose.
I see you come onto my face. Oh, good, I have to pee. You're making me crazy.
I can't let too much go. You know how we live under different rules here than just everybody else. What the hell?
Between ants in this ass to mouth dance.
Yikes. Oh, that's brutal. Let's see. Austin, favorite fast food restaurants? All of them. Probably, I've told the gang before, Arby's roast beef or whatever it is that they proclaim as roast beef, whichever the case, is my vibe. There's just something about that I love. But as far as if I could only have one fast food restaurant to go to forever, it'd probably be Burger King, just because they have the widest variety of things that I like. I like the Whoppers. I like the way, the flame broiling, and their grilled chicken sandwich is amazing. Their original chicken sandwich is amazing. I even like their fish sandwich. And with my limited tastes, it's unusual to have some place that plus they have ices. And you can't beat ices. So, yeah, it would depend. Just to go for one sandwich, Arby's. If it's what one do I most want to have in my neighborhood, it'd be Burger King. I watched a lot of Popeye. Popeye was one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, when I was real little, before the Looney Tunes even became my favorite, it was Popeye. When I was a little kid, because I liked Popeye so much, I would talk my mom into buying spinach when we went to the store, and she would buy me the spinach, and she said I would cry because I hated it so much and I wanted to be like Popeye. I would try and eat it, and I'd be like retching and almost puking. My tastes are so limited. She said I was a sad, pathetic little kid. wanted to be Popeye so bad, would open up that can of spinach and take a bite, and it's like, I can't. Why couldn't Popeye have eaten like licorice sticks or something to get his ability instead of goddamn spinach? Chrome says the Chan Clan, Captain Caveman, Wacky Racers, Josie and the Pussycats. I can find more classic shows. Betty Boop. They Captain Caveman was pretty good. Wacky Racers, of course. Schneidly. Those are good. Did ya? Jack says, "Oh, I did that with tuna, pretending it was spinach to be like Popeye." That might have worked. I was not that creative, Jack, because tuna, actually I like. Obviously, as long as you keep it away from the mayonnaise, because most everybody puts mayonnaise on it. I like tuna just straight out of the can. Tuna could have worked. Chrome says spinach isn't bad, especially with cheese. Well, Chrome, now you know I ain't jumping on board that train. Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ambivert? Yeah. I mean, obviously that was many years later than the ones we're talking about, but Courage was awesome. That show was fucked up. And I loved how messed up that show was. Jetflyer says, my favorite fast food places are Taco Time and Culver's. It's so weird you say Culver's, Jetflyer. My wife and I had Culver's for the first time just a couple weeks ago. We're going to Costco, and what did they had something. We'd never been to a Culver's. We didn't even realize it was fast food. We thought it was a sit-down restaurant. We didn't know it was a chain. I don't remember what it was, but they had something on their signboard, a food item that my wife likes. I don't remember what it was, but she said, hey, maybe we can go there sometime, for dinner. And I said, well, next time we do a Costco run, we'll go at dinner time. And we liked it. It was very good. Culver's was excellent. Excuse me. McBreakfast Shum said, did you like Puss in Boots? Yeah, we did. We really enjoyed it. So who's your favorite character in it? Mine was Jack Horner. I don't know. I didn't really think about who was a favorite character. The movie was good, though. Spaz Kid really liked it. He liked it even more than I did. But it was fun. I had a good time watching it. Zuchan says, choose one. Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Disney XD, Cartoon Network, Boomerang. See, for me, again, Zuchan, with the memory being so bad, I'd have to go back through their rosters where I could really pick. It all becomes a blur. I know which cartoons I like, but to put them each with their individual network, I'd have to go back through and remember it all. Help, it's the Hair Bear Bunch. I remember that. That was a thing. Indeed it was. Addams Family, yep. Adventures of Gulliver, The Great Ape, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I have to transfer it from VHS. One of my favorite moments in wrestling as far as being indicative of the silly nature of indie wrestling, one of the titles I won was in one of the organizations that I helped found, World of Hurt Wrestling. The first time I won that belt, the guy, he played my manager for ages, Kenny, was doing the ring announcing, and why he just randomly says, and it stuck with me because I thought it was so funny. He says, the winner and new World of Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Grape Ape, Curtis Candy. I said, where does the Grape Ape come from? He goes, I don't know. It seemed like it fit. He goes, I'll have to get that for you guys, but I got to get a VHS player so I can digitize all those old videos. QZ says, if you are talking about cartoons, it's obvious the choice is Cartoon Network. Well, Cartoon Network has had tons of shows I've really enjoyed over the years. Ruthie says, I collected Care Bears merchandise frequently when I was a little girl. Posables, plushes, cake topper size figures, DVDs, VHS tapes. Yeah, Care Bears was monstrously huge for quite some time. Still seems to have a fairly decent following. You still see their merchandise around. Cthulhu, I have the power. My oldest son was way into He-Man. My older son, He-Man was his thing. Shelby says, my dad didn't like me watching Ed, Edd n Eddy. Loved Ed, Edd n Eddy due to it being violent. This is the same man who loves Tom and Jerry. Yeah, you're not wrong, Shelby. And I've seen other people of my era do that same thing. Talk about how, well, kids shouldn't be watching these cartoons because of their violent messaging. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We sat there every Saturday morning watching the coyote get anvils dropped on his head and blown up by Acme explosives, and the violence was completely over the top. Now, that it wasn't animated all gory and everything, but the suggestion of the violence was there. So yes, I've never understood that. People from my generation saying, oh no, that's too violent. Zuchan says, I remember watching Captain Planet. I didn't like that one. Captain Planet was too... Well, you have to understand that the kind of stuff I like the hardcore fighting. Plus, I was a huge superhero comic book nerd. So, I wanted my superheroes in there jacking people up, hitting people in the face, and Captain Planet was all about saving the planet. It's like, fuck the planet. Let's go kick some bad guys' ass. And I don't want to wrap them up like a burrito. I want you to jack their asses up. So I didn't like him. Inch High Private Eye. I haven't thought of that one in years. Hong Kong Phooey. The show that cannot be made today. Lots of shows. Yeah. Oh, Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey. #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey. Quicker than the human eye. He's got style. Groovy style. I can't remember all of it. But yes, I remember Hong Kong Phooey well. He's a badass. Exactly, Big Green. He says Captain Planet was too preachy. Yeah, for me too. Yep. Some say jack their asses. I'm in. Cthulhu says Ed, Edd and Eddie was just 3 kids growing up, and it's all in fun. Yeah, I loved Ed, Edd and Eddie. Brax and I used to watch that show and laugh our freaking asses off at it. Jack says, as a kid, I distrusted Disney intensely. I don't know why, but I remember feeling the shadow over the side from the classic films, which my idiot self saw as separate. I don't know. I think that could be that's understandable. Yes, agree 100%, Louis. I don't know if you pronounce Luis or Louis, but Estrada, we'll say Luis. Ben 10 was cool before they tried to do reboots. Completely agree. I liked Ben 10. It was not like my elite tier, but I used to, Brax and I would watch it fairly regularly. And I watched the new version and got through about half of one episode. It's like, this is terrible. I did not like the new Ben 10 at all. At all. And of course, and now this anybody who doesn't, a lot of you guys already know my take on this. For those of you who don't, prepare to be appalled, because I actually like Teen Titans Go better than Teen Titans. Now, that's not to say that the original Teen Titans isn't good. I liked it, but I like Teen Titans Go better. And that that is probably my hottest hot take you'll get on cartoons. Big Green's puking. Skeletor is peak villainy, isn't he, Nacho? Skeletor is a legendary bad guy. McBreakfast Yum says the new Ben 10 tries too hard to cater to kids, but at the same time, I never saw it blow up the new one. Yeah, I just didn't care for it at all. The little bit I saw. Jack says, Curtis, that's the worst thing you've ever said. There's just something so dopey and goofy about the Teen Titans Go. I really enjoy it. Kaiser says, my favorite cartoons as a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Samurai Jack, Digimon, Pokemon, Powerpuff Girls, Totally Spies, Atomic Betty. That one I don't know. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Sonic X, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and also Burger King for the win. Yeah, I'm with you on most all of those. Big Green says, whenever I think of undead skeletons, I can only hear Skeletor's voice in my head. I'm with you, Big Green. Like, if there's a meme made, and the meme requires a skeleton head, and then there's text, yes, I'm going to read that text in Skeletor's voice. No doubt about it. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Akash says, have you seen Snoop at WrestleMania? Hey, they did a good job, Akash. They seamlessly, they being Snoop and Miz, covered up Shane's injury just like boom, boom, boom. I was impressed. They did a really good job of covering that injury. Excuse me. McBreakfast Yum says, honestly, I like the OG Teen Titans more, but I think Teen Titans Go actually has some funny writing. Me too. I think it has funny writing. Same kind of stupid things you see in Family Guy or South Park, but much more child-friendly. Right. And that's why I say, because I did like, I like the original Teen Titans. I just really like Teen Titans Go. Excuse me. Chrome says, yes, Ben 10, the series that had incest. Not a joke. Ben and Gwen weren't meant to be cousins originally, so there's a lot of romantic scenes in season 1. I think I wouldn't remember that, but I think you pointed that out to me before, Chrome. That's kind of creepy. A little bit. Oh, really? Chrome says, weirdly enough, it's the Teen Titans Go people involved in making the Mario film. I think it's the director. Really? Again, gets my endorsement because I love that show. Zuchen says, I'm glad we have the same opinion on Ben 10 because I hate it when my little brother watches the reboot. He just loves the reboot more than the original. Yeah. No, I couldn't get into it at all. It's just like this is just bad. Joker says, I love Ruby so much that I dyed my hair red after Ruby Rose. Ruby's good. Excuse me. Finley says, have you ever seen Phineas and Ferb? Sure. What is it? 104 days of summer vacation. Yeah, I love Phineas and Ferb. They used to have a little, and it didn't last long, was it Disney Springs? Yeah, in the old downtown Disney district. Now it's Disney Springs. They used to have a little Phineas and Ferb area set up with a lot of little interactive stuff that was really cool. Didn't last long, though. I don't know why they got rid of that. It was fun. Big Green says, wait, if the Teen Titans Go director is doing the Super Mario movie, how come the trailers for the movie are really funny? Stop it, Big Green. Suck me down, says pee pee. Yeah, Phineas and Ferb Joker, they were excellent. That's a fun series. I just like that conceptually too. I think that's a great kids show. You know, the brothers, the whole concept, the boys doing all this wild, bizarre, extreme stuff and never being able to be caught doing it. I don't remember that one, Mortem. Mortem says, I also remember watching Horrid Henry. It's big here in the UK. I don't remember that one. Excuse me. Chrome says, cautiously hopeful for the new Phineas and Ferb series. Yeah, it was such a good show. It really was. Yeah, you always, when they reboot something like that, you're always rooting for it to not suck. All right, guys, I got to go. As I said, my brother-in-law is here, and I want to do some hanging out today and tomorrow. But guys, thanks for coming into the stream with me. This was a lot of fun. I really wanted to get to stream today. I have such a good time doing all this. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And tomorrow we got plans for lunch and stuff, so I don't know if I'll be able to stream. But I will be back to streaming as soon as possible. And, of course, other than that, see you around the Goosh, see you around the YouTube channel, the comments and everything. But thank you very much for hanging out with me. This was fun. I got to do more of these even. I like when we just leave the streams open-ended, just talk about whatever you want, because we always end up in something really fun like cartoons. And talking about cartoons just makes your day better. I don't care who you are. It almost healed all the wounds that talking about American cheese had created earlier. I'll talk to you guys later.